This week on From Mill to Still, we cut more holes in the building, windows finally show up, and our neighbors open up their brew and barbecue across the street. Stay tuned. This week, we were so excited with the work that Gaston Roofing did, we had them come back and do siding. So they've put on all this lap corrugated sheet metal and they're wrapping the old beams so they don't get further deteriorated. Those things have been exposed since they tore the third floor off this place. And it's really cool to see them continue to do work out here. So thank you, Gaston Roofing. We were finishing up the loading dock entries and we ran out of historic brick. And that's kind of what triggered me to say we need to go ahead and cut these holes out. So to get the brick that we need to finish those entries, and this is a terrible example, but the brick that matches the historic brick, we needed to pull them out of this doorway. So this was a window facing the creek. There's gonna be a deck. You're gonna walk through this hole onto a 45-foot wide by 18-foot deep deck that overlooks the creek. And this is a non-negotiable item in the construction of this place. It has to happen. It's gonna be freaking awesome. And it's gonna be a concrete deck. It's got a long drop to the bottom. And again, we're gonna go a brick down below the finished floor, and then we'll frame it in for a 3.0 opening so you can go in and out from the main bar. And that's gonna look really freaking cool. This is just the rough cut so we can get the bricks, but we're gonna seal it up. And that happened this week, so yay. So this week we got 2 windows in their original holes. Now these are restored windows, not replacement windows. These are the windows that were already here. They were taken away, fixed, reglazed, and put back. And if you want to talk about something that's difficult to get done in this day and age, it's finding a carpenter that knows how to really use tools, like real tools and not, YouTube Festool, Instagram nonsense. Real tools, real carpenters, and fair prices to do work and really get something like this made. We had custom router bits done so that this matched what was already here. So whenever we had to replace stuff, it was done properly. And this window is back in place. It's fixed forever, it will not function, but it brings in lots of natural light and it just looks crispy and bright and awesome. So I'm really excited to see this window go back. Let's go check out the other window that he did in the older section. All right, that's old fire door. I don't know how it got there. It's heavy as shit. That fire door is gonna go back in place, and then if there's a fire, it's gonna protect the stair tower from the fire traveling up into the stairs. So more on that later as we put it back and make it actually function the way it was designed way back in the day. So that's the fire door. What I was moving it for is to show you this window here. So this is the old window. This is the 1875 window that's been put back in. It's not 100% complete. There's still some trim and caulking that needs to be done and one last coat of paint, but you can see the difference with the wood casing versus the brick casing on the other one, or lack of casing. But that's the other window that's been put back in. This is the 1875 window, much thinner, more dainty, 3/3. And then you've got the 3/4 windows that were built in 1916 that I showed you before. So that happened this week. 2 windows down, 71 to go. We got some new toys. I say new toys, we got some doors. We got some steel doors in this week. This is the secondary egress for the main bar in private event space on the 2nd floor. So as long as this building is and based on our occupancy, we can't just have one way in and out. We have to have a secondary way in and out. So we cut this big hole in. I think I talked about that several weeks ago. And this hole goes, you got a whole story down from here. We're gonna build a big deck out there as a landing for stairs out. And then this steel door goes in. We put a half light in it so that you could see, the awesome festival land and fire pits and stuff. You can see the creek. And you know, we may do dual purpose where it's not just a fire escape, but it's also a landing for people that are having private events to go out and relax and soak in the views on. So getting that door this week was pretty cool. Maybe next week you'll see that door installed. This week, Kevin cut our future doorways out. So we're standing in the door tower. We want to be able to do private events on the 3rd floor. And in order to do that, we need separate private access to that. So these will all be key card doors, and that's the main entrance there. You would come through this door and you could go right up, or you could go right down, depending on what the scenario is. And that's really cool. So he's gone a brick down here, and that way we can pour concrete. This decking will come off here, and this will all be poured concrete, so you can safely walk across from the entryway into here. And it's really cool because these are the finishing touches for future new construction, and that just shows you that we're getting like one more step closer to like the real deal. So that happened this week. Really eventful week, having our neighbors at FireHawk open. FireHawk is run by Scott Blackwood. He's a townie and a foodie, and they're doing barbecue and beer here. They brew their own beer in a little baby system, and I've had it, it's really good. They make barbecue and fish and all sorts of stuff, and it's phenomenal. And they have been absolutely slammed since their grand opening. I'm a gracious neighbor and say, hey, use our parking, because of course, what are neighbors for? So they're parking overflow over at us, and they need it because they are very popular. You can come here, you can get food, you can get Muddy River cocktails, you could get locally made beer, you can sit down at Dutchman's Creek and enjoy that. Eventually you'll be able to go from them to us and vice versa. So I don't know, I'm super excited. I've unfortunately come over here a few times after work and had a drink and something to eat. So they're gonna take all my money, I guess, while this place is under construction. So cheers to them. Congratulations, FireHawk, for getting your stuff together and opening up. It looks really good, and wish you the best of luck here in Mount Holly. So we managed to catch Scott at his business, and by catch him, it means I called him and he got out of bed and came here to see us. But Scott is gracious enough to show us his place. So do you mind taking us for a tour?
Not at all, it'd be my pleasure. Hey y'all, Scott Blackwood here at FireHawk Brew Pub. Glad you're here. So this is the old fire station. It was built in 1964, and we have repurposed and upfitted it. We have turned it into FireHawk Brew Pub.
I can attest to your general store here. My kid has bought a lot of your candy.
Awesome.
His first financial transaction happened right here.
See?
Yeah, pretty cool.
This used to be where the EMTs were. So the small ambulance here, there were 3 ambulances that parked here, a dorm room on the other side where we now have bathrooms.
That was the dorms,
Yes.
okay.
This was the EMT dorms over here that we reconfigured and turned into our restrooms. We got a full bar over there, 8 beers on tap. We're a part of the community here, and we're just wanting to really make that well known that you know, we're all here to create a destination in Mount Holly.
And not just talk, that's actually happening.
No,
like
we're doing the dang thing.
That's cool. Do you mind showing us your brew house and what you got going on there?
Not at all.
Oh, thank you.
Right this way.
Hi, man.
So,
all right, yeah, show us the brew house, bud.
Our head owner back there, he's probably in the midst of a very time-sensitive and weight-specific transaction.
Yeah, so that's how you carbonate. You inject the carbonation evenly throughout the liquid, is by rolling it around. It's a really scientific process.
For sure, but it really works. Old firefighters have been coming by, and they remember this building to the point that they can tell you what was hanging on that hole in the brick right there.
Yeah, because they lived in here.
Yeah, they lived here.
Yeah.
And for the first 30 years this place was being utilized, it was all volunteers, like community volunteers.
That's awesome.
Here's the smokers.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, y'all.
How y'all doing?
Well, and you?
Good, good, good.
So this is my daughter, Natasha.
Corner Audi.
And she is our pit boss. And if you're familiar with the barbecue scene and culture around the Southeast, a woman pit boss is not a very common thing. She's been working in restaurants with me since she was 15 years old. So you got stuff on here?
Yeah, what are you doing out here?
All right, let's get a little reveal if we can, Tasha. Here, you open it up. Let me
I
get
will.
out of your
I
way.
will.
You tell your story.
Dang.
So we got some pork butts. 8 of them.
When did you put these on?
At 10:10.
Oh, wow. And that's for tonight?
That's for tomorrow. So we do our pork butt the day before because they take 12 hours.
Yeah.
What time
12
is it?
hours. Do you like to sleep here?
No, I sleep 3 minutes away.
Yeah, okay.
Ribs. This is actually a really small day, like absurdly small comparatively. Those are oyster mushrooms.
What?
That we're smoking for a vegan barbecue.
They look like French fries.
That's exactly what someone
mushrooms.
else just said. Well, they look like something else and then I cut them.
Oh, cool. I'm so hungry right now. I wish we came here after lunch.
We've got some chickens that need to be turned and tipped.
Nice.
Cool. And that pretty much wraps up our week at From Mill to Still. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video. It wasn't the busiest week, but we did some really cool stuff out here, and there's a lot of cool stuff to come. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to us on YouTube and check out our other videos. There's also playlists on cocktails and things going on in the distillery, so it's a really fun channel to check out. Hope you love this video. Give it a like if you did. Comment if you want to see what else we might not have talked about out here. Thank you so much. Don't be dumb, drink Carolina rum.